Well, thanks for coming. Real excited about our incoming class for next year. I think we'll still probably add 2, 3 more players. One guy, Yuri Demisiani, he's already here. He started a couple weeks ago, so he joined us for the spring semester, which is nice, having a head start on things. But just to kind of go over the 6 guys, I think probably the easiest one's Yuri. The first one, he was first-team junior college All-American this past fall for Iowa Western, native of Brazil. He's a left back, left midfielder, a guy we expect to be able to come in and replace Matty Gibbons, step right in, and he's done really well, and I guess it's been a month now he's been here. He's a very good student. He was an academic All-American as well as a playing All-American, and he's a really nice fit, smart kid, just all you could ask for. And then we have 5 incoming freshmen that are going to all join us in August. Starting out, we got one local guy, Aaron Herrera. He's from Las Cruces. He's played the last 3 years for Real Salt Lake of MLS Haven Academy in Casa Grande, Arizona. So he's lived down there, kind of pursuing his soccer dream and playing at the highest level. And Aaron's a really quality player. Spent some time with the under-18 national team, and he's played against the best competition in the country. So he'll be a kid ready to come in and compete for day one. And it's great to have in-state kids. That's always our goal. If there's in-state guys that can contribute, that's who we want. So Aaron would be the first one. Second one, Devin Boyce. Devin's from St. Louis, Missouri, plays for Scott Gallagher, which plays in the developmental academy. Great player, really intelligent, skillful, attack-minded center midfielder. He's a kid who I think is going to really develop into a fine player for us. His family's all about soccer. His dad was a professional player, and I think that's what attracted him to New Mexico, just the ability to be in an incredible environment and to reach his potential. So Devin's going to be a great fit for us. The other American kid is Andy Rios. He's from Houston, Texas. He plays for the Houston Dynamo. It's an MLS academy program, so he's been in a professional environment. Goalkeeper, he's 6'2", rangy, quick, another really intelligent kid, real academic-minded. So I think Andy's going to come in and compete. We'll have 3 keepers on the team. He'll have some quality guys to beat out, but he's not coming here to sit on the bench. He's a competitor and a really talented player, and he'll really fit in well with our group. And then we have two guys from outside the country. We got Jasper Guillermo, who's from Stockholm, Sweden. He's played for Hammarby, which is currently in the Premier Division in Sweden. They've just been moved up from the 2nd Division. He played for them as a youth player and then played for their reserve team, actually went to preseason with the first team, so he's been in an environment, a professional environment, kind of tested those waters. Great student, and I think his feeling was if he could get the opportunity in the United States to pursue his soccer dreams and get a university degree, it's kind of the best of both worlds. And he fortunately, was excited by the opportunities here. So I think he's a really good player, smart player. It's just I think adapting to the speed of play and the athleticism of the college game. But he's going to have no problem academically and technically and tactically. He's a great player. The other one's Simon Spangenberg. Simon's from Brussels, Belgium. Another kid who was in a professional environment. He's played for both presently a club that's in the 1st Division in Belgium, previously played for a 2nd Division club. He's played for the youth side, played for the reserves, trained with the first team, and had the opportunity, I think, to sign professional contract. And he's just a real academic kid, and his family values in education. So he decided to come over here to the States and kind of do both, academics and athletics. I think we're seeing it more and more that some of the top students in Europe are realizing that playing professionally for a couple $1,000s a month, when you have the opportunity to come here, go to university, and play at a high level and have the chance to play professionally, we're seeing more and more kids come over here. And I think that's the MLS has gotten more exposure in Europe, and they realize that professional soccer in the United States is really growing. So we're excited about these 6 guys, and we're going to have a different team, a new team, new leadership, but they're going to fit in seamlessly, and they're all great students and quality people. So I'm excited to get them here. And people say, are they going to fill different shoes? There's big shoes to fill. We had 4 guys who played for us this fall that are all in preseason camp with professional clubs, MLS clubs. Nick Mealy just got picked up by the Chicago Fire. Ben McKendry signed with the Vancouver Whitecaps. O'Neal Fisher's doing great with Seattle Sounders right now. Looks like he's going to sign a contract. And James Rogers is with Kansas City. So talking about big-time players, Riley McGovern's in and out of some professional camps right now. He'll play at some level. So you lose good players, but at the same time, there's guys waiting, to get their opportunities. So I think we're going to be a really good team next year. And most importantly, it's quality people. Our team GPA this past fall was 3.44. We had 3 academic All-Americans, and we're going to continue that. The guys coming in are really academically motivated. And that's always, the goal of our program is excellence, in the classroom, in the community, giving back, and on the playing field. And I feel really good about this group, and there's high goals. The bar's set. So we know what we have ahead of us, a great schedule, and they're working really hard right now. So I think exciting times ahead.
Kind of touched on it, Coach, but does it feel like you have guys that can come in and contribute immediately?
Yeah, well, there were some very good players that redshirted for different reasons this fall. Adrian Moore coming off injury. He previously was a starter. He's back to form. Patrick Corey had some issues with online classes. He's now eligible. So, those guys are big-time players. And then there's just a number of other ones, whether they redshirted or didn't play big minutes. But, that's what our program's about. We're about developing players and giving guys opportunities. So you just never know how they're going to adapt. Talent's a funny one. Usually the thing that we take the most pride in is that the whole's greater than the sum of the parts as a program. And this fall, that wasn't the case. The parts were incredible. And in the end, as a group, we didn't succeed to the level of, our expectations. And this group right now is so cohesive and hardworking and hungry. I think collectively we're going to achieve great things. That's what you have to hope as a coach. But I couldn't be prouder and more excited about these guys. It's still early. We're a month in, but in terms of just the effort that they're putting in, it's phenomenal. And just to see the pride that they have and the passion and how much they care about the community and representing, not only Albuquerque but the state of New Mexico, our university. It's a pretty tremendous group, and I think sometimes, we got to tone it down. They're just so driven. It's like, hey, the season's still quite a bit of ways. It's about pacing yourself and how to properly prepare. But it's going to be a very exciting team next year.
You picked up New Mexico kids. It seems like every year you manage to get a New Mexico kid on your team. Is that an emphasis, or is it just something that if they're good enough, you'll give them a chance? Or?
It's an interesting question. We're a public institution. You're funded in large part about the state. We have an obligation to New Mexico players. But the obligation is recruiting them if we feel they're up to the level and they're going to be successful here. It's the best thing for you and the worst thing for you. It's the worst thing if you have an unhappy local kid, and we want to be as transparent as we can. We're recruiting them and say these are our expectations, And is this something that you want to be a part of? And there's some kids that it's better for them to go elsewhere. Maybe there's more playing time. Maybe it's important to get out of state. But there's some tremendous players coming out of New Mexico, and it just depends on what holes you have to fill year to year. But Aaron's a guy that we've had our eyes on, and he's a great fit for us. Not only a tremendous player, but a smart kid. He's got ties to Albuquerque. Excited to have him here.
Could you describe the international scouting process for you guys and how you come about finding those players?
Well, it's not a perfect one, but now we've developed a pretty good network of placement agencies. We watch a lot of video. We've traveled abroad. We've previously had a Belgian player here, Hans Bevers, who was a standout player here. We talked to Hans about Simon. In terms of Sweden, I've been over there. I have contacts there. We've had Swedish players here. There's an element of guesswork, but it's educated guesswork. And when you kind of tick the boxes in terms of what kind of student are they, what's the family background, what level have they been playing in, it's always that case in recruiting. It's not an exact science until guys are here, but in terms of doing our due diligence and finding everything we can about these guys, I think they're going to be tremendous players. And the thing is, they've been in a professional environment. They're not like a lot of the American kids that are paying to play. They're in an environment where there's turnover. There's they see guys offered big salaries. They see guys released. I mean, they've been in that environment for a long time, and these are guys that have succeeded at a high level. Like they've both been in preseason camp with the first team. They know what it's about. So I think they'll do very well. The question is, it is the speed of play here. It's a little more frantic at times. It's really athletic, and that's our challenge as coaches is to get them to adapt to our game. But I think how we play, they fit in much better. We play a very technically demanding style of soccer. Tactically, I think we're very good. I think the adjustment for them will be pretty smooth.
Last season, you said the team needed a guy that could score goals. Have you found that guy yet?
Well, I think we had them. They just didn't score. I think we got some goal scorers. I think Nico Hansen's going to have a big year. Wade Skabilia, who redshirted this year, he's going to score a bunch of goals for us. Sam Gleedle, Josh Goss. I mean, there's a lot of firepower up there. We're going to score some goals. We're going to be a lot more mature. And I think we're going to be humbled a little bit. I mean, this past year was humbling. And that's not a bad thing. It hurts, but you realize your mortality, and it's not easy. Everybody's gunning for you, and with success comes that much greater challenge from your opponents. We're a big game on people's schedule, and you can't take it for granted. Nothing comes easy. So we will not take anything for granted. I can guarantee you that. There's a real commitment and hunger to our guys, and as important as it is to score goals, it's preventing goals, and I think we'll do that. It's early, but I couldn't be, like I said, prouder of these guys and just their commitment. And when you say commitment, it's in the classroom, it's when we're doing clinics and involved in community events, and then it's just a passion and an enthusiasm on the field, and they display that every day. So I think it's a special group, and when you really look back on the successes of the fall and people look at all that the team's accomplished, it's pretty incredible for me as a coach. I think when you're in it day in, day out, you don't always appreciate it. But the bar is so high, you kind of focus on sometimes too much on just results. And in sports, things don't always go your way every year. But in terms of things that you do have control over, these guys are incredible. I mean, three academic All-Americans, 2 first-team academic All-Americans, the only program in the entire country to have that. GPA of 3.44, 4 guys in MLS camps. I mean, it's just success after success, and that speaks, just volumes about, the guys. So I'm proud of them. Trying to, you try to keep things in perspective. We're still 7 months away, so you kind of realize that you can't get too amped up too early. It's a long one. It's not a sprint. So we'll be good. We'll be competitive. We'll be exciting. We'll have great people that'll represent the university and everybody that comes out to our games. I'm excited.
How does the academy process work for these players? Are they high school students that play within the academy, or?
Well, what's happened is youth soccer's really changed. It's kind of divided now into 2 groups. There's U.S. youth soccer, plays for a national championship, and then there's about 75 clubs that are under the U.S. Soccer Federation, which plays in the developmental academy. And within that developmental academy, all the MLS teams have clubs as well. So it's just they've raised the bar. It's not pay to play. Most of those teams, the kids everything's covered. For the guys in the MLS academies, they're in a pro environment. Everything's paid for. They wear the same uniforms as the first team. The locker rooms are often next to the first team locker room, and they get training opportunities to play with professionals. So it's kind of emulating what's going on in Europe, and the quality of play is really improving. So like those guys, like Andy from the Dynamo and Aaron coming from Real Salt Lake, hey, they've been around professionals. They've had friends that have signed first team contracts. That's the environment they're in. And we have quite a few of those guys on our team now. We got guys from Real Salt Lake, FC Dallas, Houston Dynamo right now, Ben McKendry's from Vancouver Whitecaps. Chris Goulet from Colorado Rapids. Yeah, these guys have been in a professional environment, and they realize that it's not all roses. They see guys get released. It's cutthroat when it's a business then.
So what else do you tell, these European players and these other players, obviously come for university, but what else do you tell them to sell them, come here and play for you?
I think it's an important one. You just said, well, what are you selling them? And you got to try to, as a coach, you don't want to be a salesman as much as present the facts. And when they see, hey, 4 guys drafted into the MLS last year, 4 guys in camps this year, the grade point average, guys going to medical school, guy at Stanford getting his PhD, guy on Wall Street. What more can you ask for? So I think those are the things we try to present to them, that, hey, you can achieve your dreams, but it's not just soccer. It's our goal is to prepare them to have a real successful life. I think soccer's part of that, but none of these guys are going to probably retire off soccer. They can make a nice living for a while, but ultimately they're going to have to get a real job. And hopefully it's one that they enjoy, waking up every day and going to work. And we talk to them about, you want to prepare guys to be great husbands, great fathers, community members. And that's where we've had success, just with developing, I think, incredible young men. And they see that and they want to be part of it.
So the players that come from the academy, do they have the opportunity to sign whenever, or is there a certain commitment that when they come to campus they have to be here?
See, that's something that college soccer has not done, where the other sports have. So if you've played for an MLS team, they have your rights and they can sign you to a homegrown contract at any time. If you're not with an MLS club, they can't sign you early. It's much different. But that's what happened with Ben McKendry this year. Vancouver, they saw the draft, they saw the seniors coming out, and they said, hey, Ben's probably better than all these guys. And they kind of came in late and put together a big offer, a 2-year guaranteed contract. And, it hurt our team, but for him it was an incredible opportunity. And that's the danger of signing guys collegiately that are homegrown players for MLS clubs. That they could be signed at any point. That is the risk you take.
And just the college soccer season, and there's always discussions.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, there's a proposal to make it a split season to play in the fall and the spring, and I think in terms of preparing guys for the professional game, yeah, that would be great. You know, that's not what's happening right now, and our challenge as coaches is to be able to tell a kid that we're not hurting your development in terms of as a professional, and we have to do an incredible job to create an environment here, competition, coaching. And I think we're doing that right now, that we're giving guys an opportunity to reach their dreams, which, you know, everybody that comes here wants to be a professional. Now, at what expense, that's the bigger question. And to me, it shouldn't be at the expense of an education. It shouldn't be at the expense of a college degree. I think you can still do both right now in this country, and this is the only country in the world where you can do that. You can play soccer at an extremely high level, and you can get an education. And that's what I think starting to attract more and more kids from around the world to the United States. And I think in the past they felt the level of soccer was poor, and that's why they weren't coming here. But that's kind of the beauty of the MLS, that the marketing's been marketed internationally. So they're saying, hey, there's incredible professional playing opportunities in the United States, and if we can combine academics, and nothing's better. So that's the kind of kids that we're getting. The international kids that we're getting are really serious students and tremendous players.
Do you kind of have to be ahead of the game when it comes to that, you know, from the international perspective? Now that you're starting to see this change in perspective, or how they see soccer in the U.S.?
Yeah, we've been fortunate. You know, we've had some real success with international players here. So I think we have a good reputation. I think this school is very attractive to international kids, and we've done a really good job marketing ourselves. And like I said, results speak for themselves educationally and on the field. So I think it's a really nice destination. And like I said, for us, these guys are great students. So it's a real win-win situation. All righty.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.